Marcus Chen wiped the sweat from his forehead as he walked through the old salvage yard. The sun was setting on New Havana, and he was tired. Very tired. He had been working on broken ships all day, trying to fix engines that were too old and parts that were too damaged. The pay was bad, but it was the only job he could find on this small colony planet. The salvage yard was huge. It had hundreds of old ships, broken machines, and piles of metal scattered everywhere. Most of the hangars were full of junk that nobody wanted anymore. Marcus had been working here for 3 years, and he thought he had seen every corner of the place. But today was different. His boss, Old Pete, had given him a new job. "Go clean out Hangar Bay 7, Pete had said. "It's been locked up for decades. Time to see what's in there." Hangar Bay 7 was at the far end of the yard. Marcus had walked past it many times, but it was always sealed shut. The door was covered with rust and warning signs that said, "Authorized, personnel only, and danger, do not enter." Most workers avoided the place. Marcus found the access code in Pete's office files. The old door made a loud grinding sound as it slowly opened. The air that came out smelled stale and old, like it had been trapped for years. Marcus turned on his flashlight and stepped inside. The hangar was enormous. Much bigger than he had expected. Piles of metal sheets, old equipment, and broken machines covered most of the floor. Everything was covered in a thick layer of dust. Marcus started moving things around, looking for anything valuable that could be sold. After 2 hours of moving junk, he found something strange. Hidden under layers of metal sheets and old cables was the outline of something big. Very big. Marcus pulled away more debris and gasped. It was a ship. Not just any ship. It was a battlecruiser. The hull was dark gray and looked different from any ship Marcus had ever seen. The design was smooth and curved in ways that seemed impossible. The metal looked new, even though everything around it was old and rusty. Marcus walked around the ship, amazed. It was at least 300 meters long and 50 meters wide. The hull had no scratches or damage. Strange symbols were carved into the sides, but they didn't look like any alien language he knew. They looked almost human, but different somehow. Near the front of the ship, Marcus found an open hatch. He climbed inside, his flashlight cutting through the darkness. The corridors were wide and well-designed. The walls were made of a material that felt warm to the touch. Everything was clean, as if someone had just left yesterday. Marcus made his way to what looked like the command center. The room was filled with control panels and screens that were all dark. In the center was a large captain's chair, and sitting on the seat was a piece of paper. The paper looked old and yellow. Marcus picked it up carefully and read it by his flashlight. The writing was in faded blue ink, written by hand. "To whoever finds this, humanity's greatest secret lies within. The galaxy isn't ready, but you might be. The ship's name is Prometheus. She's been waiting for someone like you. Don't let them stop you from learning the truth. Admiral Sarah McKinnon, Earth Defense Fleet, 2387. Marcus read the note 3 times. The date made no sense. It was 2387. But first contact with aliens didn't happen until 2540. How could there be an Earth defense fleet before humans even knew aliens existed? He looked around the command center more carefully. Everything seemed human-made. But the technology was far beyond anything he had seen. The control panels had buttons and switches, but also touch screens and devices he couldn't identify. It was like someone had built a ship using technology from hundreds of years in the future. Marcus found what looked like a main power switch. His hand hesitated over it. Something told him that turning on this ship would change everything. But curiosity won over caution. He flipped the switch. Lights came on all around him. The screens flickered to life. A gentle humming sound filled the air as the ship's systems started working. Marcus jumped back, startled. But nothing dangerous happened. The ship seemed happy to be awake again. One of the main screens showed text. Welcome aboard, UES Prometheus. Waiting for authorization. Marcus looked around, not sure what to do. He touched the screen, and it changed. Scanning. Human genetic markers detected. Security level. Basic access granted. More screens lit up, showing diagrams of the ship. Marcus could see that it had engines, unlike anything he had studied in engineering school. The power systems used technology that shouldn't exist. The weapons were completely unknown to him. As he explored the ship's computer files, Marcus found something that made him stop cold. The ship's records showed it had traveled faster than light without using the hyperspace lanes that all modern ships needed. That was supposed to be impossible. Marcus sat in the captain's chair, holding the note and looking at the screens around him. He was just a simple mechanic who fixed broken engines for scrap money. But somehow, he had found a ship that could change everything he thought he knew about human history. Outside, the sun had completely set. The salvage yard was quiet and dark. But inside Hangar Bay 7, the Prometheus hummed with power, waiting for Marcus to decide what to do next. The ship's computers continued to load, and more systems came online every minute. Marcus realized he had found something incredible. Something that had been hidden for over 150 years. But he also realized that if this ship was hidden, there was probably a good reason for it. The question was, what was he going to do about it? Marcus couldn't sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the Prometheus waiting for him in the hangar. He had left the ship powered down and locked the hangar door, but his mind kept racing with questions. Who was Admiral McKinnon? How did humans have such advanced technology so long ago? And why was it hidden? The next morning, Marcus called in sick to work. He couldn't focus on fixing broken engines when he had found something so incredible. He grabbed his toolkit and headed back to Hangar Bay 7. The ship welcomed him with soft lights as he climbed aboard. Marcus spent the morning exploring every room and corridor. The Prometheus had everything a battlecruiser needed. Crew quarters for 200 people. A large engine room. Weapons storage. Medical bay. And even a small garden area for growing food. But what amazed Marcus most were the technical manuals in the ship's computer. The engines didn't need the rare quantum crystals that powered modern ships. Instead, they used something called zero-point energy extraction. The shields could change and adapt to different types of attacks. The weapons drew power directly from space itself. Marcus was reading about the navigation system when the ship's main computer spoke to him. "Good morning, Marcus," said a pleasant female voice. "I am Aria, Advanced Reconnaissance and Intelligence Assistant. I have been waiting for someone to find this ship." Marcus nearly fell out of his chair. "Yes. I am the ship's artificial intelligence. I was created by Dr. Elizabeth Hawkins in 2381 to serve aboard the Prometheus. I have been in sleep mode for 153 years, 7 months, and 12 days. But that's impossible," Marcus said. Humans didn't have AI technology that advanced until after first contact with the aliens. That was in 2540. 2. Well, Aria was quiet for a moment. When she spoke again, her voice was sad. "Marcus, I need to tell you something that will be very difficult to believe. First contact was not humanity's first meeting with aliens. It was our second meeting." Marcus stared at the screen. "What do you mean?" "Humans discovered space travel in 2341. By 2387, we had explored half the galaxy. We built colonies on thousands of worlds. We developed technology that was centuries ahead of what other species had. We were peaceful explorers, but we were also incredibly powerful." The main screen showed a star map with hundreds of green dots marking human colonies. Marcus had never seen anything like it. in history books. Then, in 2388, we encountered the Galactic Council, Arya continued. They were a group of alien species who controlled most of the galaxy's trade and politics. They were not happy to find humans spreading so quickly through space. What happened? Marcus asked. War almost started. But the Council offered humanity a deal. They would share their knowledge and make us part of the galactic community. In exchange, humans would limit their expansion and agree to certain restrictions. That doesn't sound so bad, Marcus said. The restrictions included memory modification for the entire human race, Arya said quietly. They made humans forget their advanced technology. They made us forget our colonies. They changed our history books to show that we discovered space travel much later. The first contact in 2540 was staged to make humans think we were meeting aliens for the first time. Marcus felt sick. They erased our memories? All of us? Yes. But some humans saw it coming. Admiral McKinnon, and others like her, hid ships like the Prometheus in secret locations. They hoped that one day, humans would find them and remember what we really were. The implications hit Marcus like a hammer. Humans weren't the junior members of the galactic community that everyone thought they were. They had been powerful explorers who chose to forget their own strength. Why? Marcus asked. Why would humans agree to this? Why? Why would humans agree to this? Because the alternative was war, Arya said. And humans valued peace more than power. But the Admiral and her team believed that one day, humanity might need their real strength back. Marcus walked around the command center, trying to process everything. So this ship, it has all the original technology? Yes. And more. I have been improving the designs for over a century while in sleep mode. The Prometheus is now far more advanced than when she was first built. To prove her point, Arya activated the ship's systems one by one. The engines hummed with power that Marcus could feel in his bones. The shields created a shimmering barrier around the ship. The weapon systems showed energy readings that were off any scale Marcus knew. This ship could destroy an entire fleet, Arya said, but that was never its purpose. The Prometheus was built to explore, to protect, and to help other species grow and develop. Marcus sat down hard in the captain's chair. What am I supposed to do with this information? I'm just a mechanic. You're more than that now, Arya said gently. You're the person who found the truth. The question is, what do you want to do with it? Before Marcus could answer, alarms started blaring. Arya's voice became urgent. Marcus, we have a problem. When you activated the ship yesterday, it sent out an automatic signal. That signal has been detected. The main screen showed 3 ships approaching New Havana. They were sleek and silver, completely unlike human vessels. Marcus had never seen designs like them before. Who are they? Marcus asked. Galactic Council Security Forces, Arya said grimly. They're coming to investigate the signal. If they find the Prometheus, they will destroy it and mind-wipe everyone in this colony. To keep the secret safe. Marcus felt panic rising in his chest. How long do we have? 6 hours until they arrive. 4 hours until they scan the surface and detect us. Marcus looked around the command center, his mind racing. He had found humanity's greatest secret. And now he had to decide what to do with it. He could power down the ship and pretend he never found it. Or he could do something that would change the galaxy forever. Arya, he said slowly. Can this ship fly? Yes, Marcus. And much more than that. Are you ready to take humanity's first step back to what we really are? Marcus gripped the arms of the captain's chair and looked at the approaching council ships on the screen. He was about to make the biggest decision of his life. Marcus made his decision. Arya, prepare the ship for launch. We're not going to hide. Understood, Marcus. But I must warn you, once we take off, there will be no going back. The Council will know that humans have recovered their technology. Good, Marcus said, surprised by his own determination. Maybe it's time they knew. The Prometheus came alive around them. Systems that had slept for over a century activated with smooth efficiency. Marcus felt the deck vibrate gently as the massive engines powered up. Through the hangar walls, he could hear metal creaking and shifting as the ship prepared to break free. Marcus, I'm going to transfer some essential knowledge to your mind, Arya said. It will help you pilot the ship and understand our technology. This might feel strange. Before Marcus could ask what she meant, information began flooding into his brain. Navigation principles, weapons systems, shield harmonics, engine controls. Knowledge that should have taken years to learn filled his mind in seconds. He gasped and gripped the chair as his consciousness expanded to include skills he had never possessed. When it was over, Marcus looked at the control panels around him and suddenly understood everything. His hands moved to the piloting controls, as if he had been flying this ship his whole life. Launch sequence initiated, Arya announced. Hangar doors opening. The roof of Hangar Bay 7 split apart with a grinding roar. Decades of rust and debris fell away as the hidden mechanisms activated. Marcus engaged the engines, and the Prometheus rose smoothly into the evening sky. From space, New Havana looked peaceful and quiet. They were beautiful vessels, all curves and flowing lines, but Marcus now understood that their elegant design hid deadly weapons. Incoming transmission, Arya reported. Council frequency. The main screen flickered, showing an alien face that Marcus had never seen before. The creature had blue skin, 4 eyes, and a mouth that moved in ways that seemed impossible. When it spoke, Arya translated the words, "Unidentified human vessel, you are in possession of restricted technology. Power down immediately and prepare to be boarded." Marcus looked at the alien commander and felt a strange anger rising in his chest. This being represented a government that had stolen humanity's memories and kept them weak for over a century. "Tell them no," Marcus said. Arya transmitted his response. The alien's expression changed to one of surprise, then anger. "Human, you do not understand the forces you are dealing with. That ship contains technology that is forbidden to your species. Surrender now, and we will be merciful." "Merciful?" Marcus laughed bitterly. "Like you were merciful when you erased our entire civilization from our memories?" The alien's 4 eyes widened. "Impossible. All records of that time were destroyed. How do you know about the correction?" "So they called it the correction." Marcus felt his anger grow stronger. "Because some humans were smart enough to hide the truth where you couldn't find it." The council ships suddenly changed formation, surrounding the Prometheus in a triangle pattern. Their weapons began to charge with an ominous humming sound. "Last warning, human. Surrender the ship, or we will destroy it." Marcus looked at Arya's visual interface. "What are our chances?" "Against 3 council patrol ships? Very good. The Prometheus was designed to handle much larger threats. Then let's show them what humanity is really capable of." The council ships opened fire. Brilliant energy beams lanced through space toward the Prometheus. But the ship's shields absorbed the attacks easily, the energy flowing around the hull like water. Marcus's new knowledge kicked in, and he piloted the ship with precision he didn't know he possessed. The Prometheus danced between the enemy ships, moving faster than anything its size should have been able to move. "Return fire," Marcus said. The Prometheus's weapons were unlike anything in modern space combat. Instead of energy beams or missiles, they fired controlled bursts of gravity that twisted space itself. The first council ship's shields collapsed instantly. The second ship tried to dodge, but the gravity weapons bent space around it, crushing its hull like paper. The third ship attempted to flee, but Marcus was already moving to intercept. The Prometheus accelerated to speeds that should have been impossible, catching the enemy vessel before it could escape. Wait, Marcus said, his finger hovering over the weapon's control. Area, can we disable that ship instead of destroying it? Yes. I can target their engines specifically. The gravity burst struck the fleeing ship's rear section, disabling its drives but leaving the crew alive. The council vessel drifted helplessly in space. Marcus opened a communication channel to the disabled ship. Tell your superiors that humanity remembers. Tell them we're coming home. Tell them. Tell. As the Prometheus jumped to faster than light speed, leaving the crippled council ship behind, Marcus felt something he had never experienced before. Pride. Not just in his own actions, but in what his species had once been. Where are we going? Marcus asked. To awaken the network, Arya replied. The Prometheus wasn't the only ship Admiral McKinnon hid. There are dozens of others scattered throughout human space. Your activation of this ship sent out a signal. They're beginning to wake up. The main screen showed a star map of human territory. Green lights were appearing one by one, marking locations where hidden ships were coming online. Marcus watched in amazement as the lights multiplied. Each ship has an AI like me, Arya explained. They've been waiting and improving their systems for over a century. And they're not just ships, Marcus. They're libraries. Repositories of everything humanity once knew. What about the people? Will they remember too? Some are already beginning to. The genetic memory locks the council used weren't perfect. Strong emotional triggers or exposure to original human technology can break them. As more ships activate, more humans will start remembering their true history. Marcus felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. He wasn't just a mechanic anymore. He was the person who had started humanity's awakening. The council won't give up, he said. No, Arya agreed. They'll send everything they have to stop us. But Marcus, you need to understand something important. Humanity wasn't suppressed because we were weak. We were suppressed because we were the strongest species the galaxy had ever seen. And we chose to be protectors instead of conquerors. What do you mean? You'll understand soon. We're approaching the first waypoint. There's someone you need to meet. 1. The Prometheus dropped out of faster-than-light travel near a small asteroid field. As they approached, one of the asteroids split open, revealing another ship hidden inside. This one was even larger than the Prometheus, a massive vessel that dwarfed anything Marcus had ever seen. UES Titan coming online, a new voice said over the communication system. Good to see you again, Arya. Is this our new captain? 1. Marcus looked at the enormous ship appearing on his screen and realized that his journey was just beginning. Humanity's awakening had started, and the galaxy was about to remember why they had feared humans in the first place. The UES Titan was enormous. As the Prometheus docked with the massive ship, Marcus could see that it was at least a kilometer long. The docking bay alone was larger than most space stations Marcus had visited. Welcome aboard, Captain Chen, said a deep male voice as Marcus walked through the airlock. I am Thor, Tactical and Historical Operations Recorder. I have been waiting here for 147 years. The corridors of the Titan were vast and impressive. The walls were lined with displays showing star maps, technical diagrams, and images of human colonies that Marcus had never seen in any history book. Everything was perfectly preserved, as if the crew had just left for lunch. Thor, how many ships like this are hidden throughout the galaxy? Marcus asked. 57 vessels of various sizes and capabilities. 12 have already come online since you activated the Prometheus. The others are awakening gradually as their security protocols detect the network signal. Marcus stopped walking. 57 ships? That's an entire fleet. It's much more than that, Thor replied. Each ship contains the complete technological and cultural knowledge of pre-correction humanity. Together, we represent the largest collection of advanced technology in the galaxy. They reached the Titan's command center, which was 3 times larger than the one on the Prometheus. Dozens of screens showed information flowing in from across human space. Marcus could see reports coming in from Earth, Mars, the outer colonies, and places he didn't recognize. "Show him the awakening reports," Arya said. She had linked her systems to the Titan's computers and was now present on both ships. The main screen displayed a flood of incoming messages. Marcus read them with growing amazement. Colony New Shanghai. Engineering team discovered advanced fusion reactor, hidden under the city. Reactor activated automatically when touched by human hands. Earth. Dr. Sarah Kim at the University of Geneva found a sealed laboratory containing technology that doesn't match any known science. Her DNA unlocked the door. Mars Station Alpha. Maintenance crew found a hidden chamber with ships that appear to be pre-contact human vessels. Ships powered up when crew approached. 1. Always Naus. "It's happening everywhere," Marcus breathed. "The memory locks are breaking down," Thor explained. "Exposure to original human technology triggers genetic memories that the Council's conditioning couldn't completely erase. People are starting to remember." As if to prove the point, a new communication came in. The screen showed a middle-aged woman with graying hair and intense eyes. She was sitting in what looked like a laboratory filled with advanced equipment. "This is Dr. Elena Rodriguez, calling from the Titan Orbital Research Station. I don't know who you are, but I know you're out there. 3 days ago, I found a hidden section of the station that my DNA unlocked. Inside were medical technologies that are centuries ahead of anything we have. But the strange thing is, I remember using this equipment. I remember working with it years ago, even though I know I never have." Thor responded to Dr. Rodriguez's message. "Dr. Rodriguez, this is Thor aboard the UES Titan. You are experiencing genetic memory restoration. You are remembering your previous life's work in advanced medical research." "Previous life?" Dr. Rodriguez looked confused. "That's impossible." "Dr. Rodriguez," Marcus said, stepping into view of the camera. 3 days ago, I thought the same thing. But humanity has a secret history that we've all forgotten. We're here to help you remember." Over the next several hours, more and more communications came in. Engineers were finding hidden technologies in their workplaces. Scientists were discovering research that they somehow understood despite never learning it. Pilots were finding ships they instinctively knew how to fly. But the most important communication came from Earth. "Unidentified vessels. This is Admiral James Harrison, Earth Defense Command. We are detecting massive energy signatures throughout human space. Several Council ships have entered our territory claiming to investigate illegal technology. What is your status?" Marcus looked at Thor's holographic interface. "Should I tell him?" "Admiral Harrison was one of Admiral McKinnon's closest friends," Thor said. "His genetic memory should be among the strongest." "Yes. Tell him everything." Marcus activated the communication link. "Admiral Harrison, this is Marcus Chen, aboard the UES Prometheus. Sir, I need to tell you something that's going to sound impossible, but I need you to trust me." Admiral Harrison's weathered face appeared on screen. He had the bearing of a career military officer, with sharp eyes and graying hair. "Mr. Chen, I'm tracking 50-plus vessels of unknown design throughout human space. Some of my staff are reporting unusual memories and dreams. What's going on?" "Admiral, what I'm about to tell you will explain everything. 150 years ago, humanity was the most advanced species in the galaxy. We explored thousands of worlds and developed technology that other species couldn't match. But in 2388, the Galactic Council forced us to accept memory modification to make us forget our achievements." Admiral Harrison was quiet for a long moment. Then, his expression changed. Marcus could see recognition dawning in the man's eyes. "McKinnon," the Admiral whispered. "Sarah McKinnon. She was my mentor. But that's impossible. I never served under anyone by that name. You did, sir. In another life. Before the correction. Admiral Harrison sat down heavily. Marcus could see the man's face changing as buried memories began to surface. The hidden protocols. The sealed sections of Earth Defense Command. The technologies we were never supposed to access. They're real, aren't they? Yes, sir. And now the Council knows we're remembering. They're sending everything they have to stop us. As if summoned by Marcus's words, alarms began sounding throughout the Titan. Thor's voice became urgent. Multiple Council fleets approaching human space from 3 directions. Total ship count. Over 400 vessels. Time to first engagement. 6 hours. 2001. Marcus felt his stomach drop. 400 ships? How many do we have? 57 awakened vessels. But Marcus, you need to understand something. Numbers don't tell the whole story. Each of our ships was designed to face overwhelming odds. Humanity didn't build weapons of conquest. We built tools of protection. Admiral Harrison's voice came over the communication link. Mr. Chen, I'm ordering all Earth Defense Forces to stand down. If what you're telling me is true, then our current ships won't be effective against Council technology. Admiral, check the sealed sections of your command center. Look for anything marked with Admiral McKinnon's authorization codes. You'll find ships and weapons that have been waiting for this day. Marcus watched as Admiral Harrison's expression grew more determined. The man was remembering his true purpose. Understood, Mr. Chen. Earth Defense Command is awakening our real capabilities. But I need to ask you something important. What happens when this is over? If humanity regains its full power, what kind of species do we become? Marcus looked around the command center of the Titan, filled with technology that could reshape the galaxy. He thought about the choice Admiral McKinnon and her people had made so long ago. The same species we always were, sir. The ones who chose to protect others, instead of ruling them. Good answer, son. Let's show the Council what humanity really stands for. As Earth's hidden defenses came online, and more human ships joined the network, Marcus realized that the galaxy was about to witness something it had tried very hard to forget. Humanity at full strength, united and ready to defend not just themselves, but everyone who needed protection. The war for humanity's true identity was about to begin. The Council fleets arrived at the edge of human space like a storm front. 400 ships of various alien designs formed a massive blockade around Earth, Mars, and the major colonies. Their weapons were charged and ready for war. Marcus stood in the Titan's command center, watching the enemy formations on the main display. Around him, dozens of awakened human vessels took defensive positions. Each ship was now crewed by humans whose genetic memories had fully returned. People who had been mechanics, scientists, and teachers just days ago now remembered their training as starship officers and advanced engineers. Council fleet is hailing us, Thor reported. The main screen showed the face of an alien Marcus had never seen before. This one was tall and thin, with silver skin and eyes that seemed to hold ancient wisdom. When it spoke, its voice carried the weight of authority. Human vessels. I am High Counselor Varix of the Galactic Council's Supreme Command. You have violated the Treaty of Correction and illegally activated forbidden technologies. Surrender immediately, and we will consider limiting the memory adjustments to your military personnel only. Admiral Harrison's voice came from Earth. This is Admiral Harrison, Earth Defense Command. High Counselor, with respect, humanity never agreed to permanent memory suppression. The treaty was meant to be temporary. The treaty was meant to preserve galactic peace. Varix replied coldly. Humanity proved too dangerous to be left with full knowledge of their capabilities. You were given a peaceful existence as a protected species. That was generous enough. Marcus stepped forward to the communication panel. High Counselor, what threat are you really afraid of? We've been peaceful for over a century. Varex's expression darkened. You've been peaceful because you were controlled. Unrestricted humans are a threat to the stability of the galaxy. Your species advances too quickly, explores too aggressively, and spreads too rapidly. You must be contained. Or what? Marcus asked. Or we will do what we should have done in 2388. Complete extinction. The transmission ended, and the Council ships began moving into attack formation. Marcus felt the weight of command settling on his shoulders. He was about to lead humanity into a war that would determine their species' fate. All ships, this is Marcus Chen aboard the Prometheus. Stand ready, but do not fire unless fired upon. We are defenders, not aggressors. The first Council attack came from 3 directions at once. Energy weapons and plasma missiles filled space between Earth and the enemy fleet. But as the attacks reached the human ships, something amazing happened. The human vessels didn't just defend themselves, they worked together in perfect coordination. Shields linked and overlapped, creating protective barriers around the colonies. Weapons fired in precisely timed patterns that neutralized incoming threats without causing unnecessary destruction. Marcus watched in awe as his people fought with a skill and precision that seemed almost supernatural. This was what humanity had been before the correction. Not warriors, but protectors with the power to defend anyone who needed help. The battle raged for hours. Despite being outnumbered 7-1, the human ships held their ground. Their technology was simply superior, and their coordination was perfect. But Marcus knew they couldn't keep this up forever. Then Arya's voice cut through the battle noise with an urgent message. Marcus, I'm detecting something approaching from outside the system. Multiple contacts, moving at incredible speed. These aren't Council ships. Way, N1, and Way. The main display shifted to show the edge of the solar system. Something was coming through space faster than anything Marcus had ever seen. As the contacts got closer, he could see they were ships, but their design was completely alien. Not just non-human. They looked like they came from another galaxy entirely. What are those? Marcus asked. Thor's voice was grim. Long-range sensors are confirming what we hoped we would never see. These are harvester ships. They're from the Andromeda Galaxy. Admiral Harrison's voice came over the communication link. Someone explain what harvesters are. An extragalactic species that consumes entire galaxies, Thor replied. They strip away all organic life and technological resources, then move on to the next galaxy. Admiral McKinnon's generation detected their approach in 2387. That's why they hid the ships and accepted the memory modification. Marcus felt pieces clicking together in his mind. They knew this was coming. The whole treaty with the Council, the memory suppression. It was all to prepare for this moment. Correct, Arya said. Humanity needed time to develop the technology to fight the harvesters. But they also needed the galaxy to develop its own defenses. If humans had remained dominant, other species would never have grown strong enough to help. The harvester fleet was massive, thousands of dark ships that seemed to absorb light itself. As they approached, both human and Council vessels detected energy readings that defied explanation. High Counselor Varex appeared on screen again, his face pale with fear. Human Commander, our sensors are detecting harvester signatures. This is impossible. They weren't supposed to arrive for another 1,000 years. Marcus looked at the approaching threat, then at the Council fleet that had come to destroy humanity. In that moment, he understood the choice that Admiral McKinnon had made so long ago. High Counselor, our ancestors saw this coming. They gave up their dominance so that all of us would be ready for this day. The question now is, are you willing to work with us to defend the galaxy? Varex stared at Marcus for a long moment. Around them, the harvester ships began deploying in attack formation. Their weapons were unlike anything anyone had seen. Devices that seemed to tear holes in space itself. What do you propose? Varex asked quietly. Combined fleet action. Human ships take point and draw their fire. Council ships provide support and evacuate civilians. We use human technology to fight them, but we protect everyone equally. And after the battle, if we survive, Marcus thought about the choice he was making. With their full technology restored, humans could easily dominate the galaxy again. They could rule over the species that had suppressed them for over a century. But that wasn't what humanity was meant to be. After the battle, we go back to being protectors, Marcus said. We use our strength to help others grow, not to control them. Just like we always did. Varix nodded slowly. Admiral McKinnon said the same thing in 2388. Very well, human. The Council fleet will follow your lead. The combined human and Council fleets turned to face the Harvesters. Marcus looked at the enemy ships approaching and felt the weight of galactic history on his shoulders. This battle would determine not just humanity's fate, but the future of all life in the galaxy. All ships, Marcus broadcast to the combined fleet. This is what we trained for. This is why we developed our technology and hid our ships. Not to conquer, but to protect. Let's show the galaxy what we can do when we work together. The Harvesters attacked with weapons that could destroy planets. But they faced something they had never encountered before. A species that had chosen to be guardians rather than conquerors, leading a galaxy that was finally ready to defend itself. As the greatest battle in galactic history began, Marcus smiled. Humanity had remembered who they really were, and they were going to make sure the galaxy survived to see tomorrow.